Captain, as people were speaking on parks, people were also speaking in courts. Let's do a quick review of the cases in court
As
yesterday.
for the court, virtually every day there are cases. There's no single day that there's no. If the court shuts, then it means you are in trouble.
Absolutely.
So yesterday, you can see on your screen there that is Captain Abel, and that day notice that sometime on the 4th of July, there was a news that the court has issued a bench warrant for the arrest of a military officer whom the police had said that they have tried everything that they could, but they were not able to get him. In fact, sending wireless messages to the armed forces to get him on board, but that also refused. So that led to the court presided over by His Honor, Mr. Samuel Bright Aqua, to issue a bench warrant. Yesterday, the military, after getting to know of this information, produced a man in white, that is the accused person, is the second accused person, to the court. And one of the things that they said, they were actually worried about the kind of presentation that was made to the court. They said the police misled the court because at no point in time did they receive any wireless message from the police indicating that they want this very man in court.
Really?
So yes, so upon social media and then traditional media publication, they got to know, so they have brought the man. In fact, high-ranking members within the army led and then brought him to court. And the bench warrant was eventually rescinded. And his plea was taken in relation to conspiracy, and the substantive charge is defrauding by false pretense. Absolutely. Involving some recruitment issues, involving 136,000 Ghana cedis and all that. But he pleaded not guilty, and he was given a self-recognizance bail. So bail that you have to execute it on your own. Nobody will have to come and execute it for you. But yesterday, let's listen to his lawyer, Dr. Jamal Tonzua, who represented him and convinced the court to be able to rescind that bail condition, that bench warrant which was issued for his arrest.
The bench warrant. The purpose of the bench warrant was, not as we booked the bench warrant, the purpose of the bench warrant was to ensure that they could get Captain Nati, the second accused person in the case, to assist the police with investigations and to come to stand trial. And so since we brought him to court today, that serves the purpose of the bench warrant. And so my application to the court, my prayer to the court was that the warrant should be revoked. And thankfully the judge saw reason that has revoked the bench warrant. We never knew about this invitation.
Yeah, so that was counsel for the
Jamal
captain.
Tonzua. So he prayed the court to revoke or rescind the bench warrant which was dealt with. So on the 18th of July, they will come back to court to deal with whatever the court will have to deal with. So that is in relation to this very case. So this is what happened yesterday in court.
So let's look at some of the cases coming up today. NAM1 is back in court?
Yes. So today, it's more like a fate day for NAM1. So the court is making the determination as to whether or not prosecution, after calling 9 witnesses, have been able to establish a prima facie evidence for which reason NAM1 ought to mount the witness box to respond to 39th counts. So today, prosecution, after calling their witness, the court will have to examine on the face of it to look at whether or not there's any question at all for NAM1 to answer in relation to that. So Justice Ernest Owusu-Dapah, a justice of the Court of Appeal, who's sitting with additional responsibility as a High Court judge, today will make that determination. So NAM1 will know his fate. If the court finds that there's a prima facie, NAM1 will be ordered to mount the witness box and open his defense. But if the court is of the view that nothing at all has been said which require the court to call on him to answer, NAM1 will be freed. So that is what he is expecting to, the court is expecting to do today in relation to this very case involving the men's good or defunct men's good.
Okay. The next case, the Cecilia Dapa's case.
Yes. So the aspect of the OSP is gone.
Right.
Yes. So now the aspect of the maid, which actually brought about this whole hula baloo, is on. So in fact, the husband of Madame Cecilia Dapa is the one facing cross-examination. But at some point in time, Patience Botwe, the lady in scarf over there, her lawyers, in fact, have filed a motion, and what they are seeking is for the court to compel the Office of the Special Prosecutor to produce or to give them interrogations that they had with Madame Cecilia Dapa and the husband, interviews that they had with them, and all caution statements that they took from them. They wanted to be able to confront the husband and Madam Cecilia Dapaah herself when she mounted the witness box as part of also telling their case or defending themselves. So today, Justice Marie Louise Simmons, Criminal Court 2, would listen to that particular application and make a determination as to whether or not to make a call or make an order for the OSP to do that. So that is what we do expect in relation to this very matter. So Patience Botwe and her lawyers are saying that they want some document from the Office of the Special Prosecutor, and the court will be listening to that motion today.
Anas versus Nyantakyi.
So this is a case that Justice Marie Simmons again, in fact, at the point in time, threatened to discharge Mr. Nyantakyi. Following the Anas number 12 expose, Nyantakyi was charged, and the court made an order for Anas to unmask to Nyantakyi in chambers. Then he will come to court, sit in open court, masked, and testify. Anas said no, his security is at stake. And so prosecution is challenging that order, that's a ruling at the Court of Appeal. And so they are waiting for that. That is what has stalled the case. So today, Justice Marie Louise Simmons will be taking an update by way of prosecution, updating the court what has become of with the appeal. They have challenges earlier, transmitting the document to the Court of Appeal. But at the last court sitting, the court said that virtually everything was done and it was just left about putting them together and sending. So today, there will be an update in relation to what has become of the appeal, whether the Court of Appeal has heard it and the outcome of it. So that is what we do expect in relation to this Nyantakyi Anas case, in which the number 12 expose led to Nyantakyi being banned from football.
Okay, let's move on to Oliver and
yes. So when you mention Oliver, there are two cases that you can avert your mind to. The one in relation to the treason felony, and then the one that the National Security Minister, Albert Kandapah, and this is it. So that's Albert Kandapah and Dr. Justice Shremsai, that's the counsel for Oliver Barker. So today they are the Supreme Court. And the exercise at the Supreme Court is simple. The Supreme Court will be hearing an application. Initially, they filed a request. They are asking the court to ask, as it were, ask Albert Kandapah to respond to some 17 questions of facts, which, if done, will open the court's eyes to what the application for that defamation suit that he's filed is. Albert Kandapah says that because of security reasons and confidentiality associated with his ministry, he's unable to respond to the 17 questions. And the lawyers are saying, no, if you say that, that is not fair. So you're going to the Supreme Court to compel you to answer those questions. So that is what is before the Supreme Court. And today, the Apex Court will be looking at that particular, as to whether or not Albert Kandapah is to answer to that 17 questions, which will open the court's eye to the substantive matter before it. So that's what we do expect in relation to this very case.
Finally, the case with the highest number of witnesses, the Beige Bank case.
Yes.
The 19th witness is expected today.
Absolutely. So today we expect the witness to appear before Justice Serwaa, also a Justice of the Court of Appeal, who is sitting with additional responsibility as a High Court judge. I told you about the fact at the last court sitting, the court said, look, all intents and purposes, everything before the court now amounts to up to 29 witnesses. So 19 will come in today. If by Friday you not file the remaining, then consider it closed. You will not have that opportunity again. So that was a clear warning from Justice Serwaa. But today,
Serwaa's namesake.
Yes, it's Serwaa's namesake. I don't know how often you have been to her court.
Oh, I've had personal
encounters with her.
She's also a lecturer.
She's a lecturer.
Teaching a lot of and those who have encountered her will always tell you that she's a hard woman. So today,
anyway,
that case will be before her. I will know what happened later in the day.
Okay. Captain, thank you very much.
Thank you
As
today,
always, we'll catch you on the flip side.
Sure.
That's it for court today. Let's see what the newspapers are saying this morning.
Of NAPO taking office, free SHS took less than 6 months. Free SHS started, and I will quote His Excellency the Vice President, the former president, who said that if I have 2 billion, I will not push it in free SHS only. Bernardo is raising 2 billion. The person who could not raise 1.3 billion in 4 years to do his flagship program, he's telling you that vote against the one who is able to raise 2 billion every year to do his flagship program, and he is doing it, and there is no break. So what I'm saying is, we have chosen 2 people, the one who could not deliver his own her own bosses progressive free SHS. In fact, let me blow your mind and the viewers' mind. In fact, the person who delivered the the progressive education couldn't pay 30 million. Napo paid. Do you know the person who paid? It's called Matthew Poku Prempe.
Okay. So would you then
the
say that
we
from
have
what
chosen is a superior person who will deliver?
Would you say that from what happened yesterday in Kumasi, you are able to convince Ghanaians, or you have been able to convince Ghanaians that this is the right pair for
I just
Ghana?
gave you only one of the myriad of examples I will be giving you on this show.
So that's fine. That's fine. And I'll be looking forward to that. There was also, I mean, in his speech, he talked about the fact that he has been the best performing, Nanado has been the best performing president ever as compared to even Kwame Nkrumah.
And he gave examples, right? He
What
said that
example?
in the history of Ghana, the only president who came and said every district must have a hospital. And at a goal, we are building how many hospitals? I'm giving you how many hospitals are we building? 111 are at a goal. And come back to education. I love the education
And
because
they are all
of
it makes all of them better than Dr. Kwame Nkrumah.
I am coming. I'm giving you examples.
I'm asking.
His Excellency Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, who happened to be Ghana's first president, did marvelously well. Everybody believes it.
But it's not.
He did.
The marvelously well cannot be
You see,
compared
when you
to
ask
that
the
of-
question, allow me to
Yeah,
give
but
the people.
I need you to understand.
Go back. Go
answer
back
my
to
questions.
what he said. He said Nanado delivered better. Free education. Nanado gave Kwame Nkrumah did northern scholarship for only the people, our brothers in the northern sector. Nanado have given free education nationwide to Ghana, the two who had done better. I'm asking you, you help me. Help the people who are watching us. So if somebody says Nanado had performed better, take education. Now, look, come sector by sector. I have just given you health. Kwame Nkrumah did not build 111 hospitals at a goal in his 9 years of being president. Nanado is doing it.
How many of those hospitals
Kwame
have
Nkrumah
been
did not give
completed?
the whole of Ghana scholarship education. Nanado has done it. I'm going to give you more and more
Please
and more.
give
So
me.
all I am saying
Give
is
me
that
the
if you
examples.
we know the good things that Kwame Nkrumah is credited with. That is industrialization. Is it not true? Let me tell you, Kwame Nkrumah did very well because at that time, the Ghana you knew was very small. The ring road that we know in Accra here, the ring road was what actually goes around Accra. That's why we call it ring road. So if you stay in Abokobi, Abokobi is an Accra village. Now, Abokobi, you have to do road there. You have to build a hospital there. You have to put schools there. You have to put everything there. So when Kwame Nkrumah performed, Kwame Nkrumah performed creditably, but within a context. And the context was that we were very few. So by doing the motorway from Accra, Tetekwashi, to join Tema, roundabout, that motorway was phenomenal. Do you know why? Because nobody will challenge Kwame Nkrumah to do a dual carriage road from Accra to Kumasi. We didn't have that then. We didn't have that challenge then. So when at a time like this, even in the face of all the challenges, all these things are happening. Yesterday, somebody challenged me, and I opened for him. Go and check the road sector. We said we did 10,000 kilometers of road. People say 10,000 kilometers is from here to London. But go and take it. Look at it one by one. I can share the data with you. Let your producers put it there. It's online, so they should check the statement you put there. Then you will realize that at a goal, Nanado had done more roads than any president who has come, which includes Kwame Nkrumah. So all we are saying is nobody is denigrating Kwame Nkrumah. Nobody is playing down on what Kwame Nkrumah has done. For the first time, Kwame Nkrumah built factories, right? But for the first time, we are building factories in every district. Every single district must have a factory. If we haven't completed, does not negate the policy. The policy is that every single district must have a factory. That is a Nanado vision. Kwame Nkrumah's vision was to industrialize. So we made Tema the industrial hub. And then we were creating industrial areas which were, we are saying now that every district, so if we don't want rural-urban migration, put a factory in the district, put some form of things that will employ people in the district. And that's what Nanado has done. Kwame Nkrumah hasn't done that. I am not by this saying Kwame Nkrumah has not performed. I am saying that he gave a comparison. at a goal, somebody is building factories in every district. And that is bigger than building factories in areas. Look,
okay, Mr. JP, do you have a factory in your district?
No.
That's what I'm saying. They are building them. And the fact that they haven't finished does not negate the policy.
Yeah, that's the question.
I can give you the...
Is there a factory in Adenta?
There's one that is ongoing.
Which one?
It's ongoing.
And that is why
I said, that's why I said,
what
the fact that it's not completed does not mean
so
it's
how
not
many districts, how many factories have been completed in what district?
I will give you the details. I don't have it.
You have said you will give details like 3
times. Yes,
and let me bring it in now.
Do you want me to mention a figure?
You know what?
I know at least a minimum of 68. I'll give you the data.
You can't even give us the one behind your house. You can't give us the details.
Find those. Find that.
We asked you about Adenta.
Wait.
Hold on, both of you.
I don't want like it when I am questioning you and you are questioning.
Find that data.
She came to me.
Find that data.
I will let you have it before I leave here.
No. Find it now. I'm going to come back to you.
Yes,
please,
so you will get it.
Mr. James, come in. Yeah.
Well, let me say a good morning to our viewers and my brother from the NPP. I first of all, say again.
I'm Ernest.
Oh, okay, Ernest. But you're not my brother.
Oh yeah. I also addressed you as my brother, so we are brothers.
First of all, there was nothing presidential about what happened in Kumasi yesterday. Nothing. The entire organization was very poor. If you checked the stage makeup, how people were crisscrossing, and I mean, it was bizarre. And for me, it reflects what the NPP thinks about Ghanaians. And the choice of Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh leads us to question the thinking process of Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia. What does he really want to achieve with NAPO as a running mate? Is he going to help solve any economic problem? Is there a particular sector of the economy that he thinks that he has a deficit and NAPO will be able to add up? Or what? What is the drive beyond the usual NPP tribal ethnic politics? You cannot find anything substantial with this nomination. And the Otumfo's speech was very profound. If you know the Otumfo, he speaks in parables. Many times when Otumfo is speaking, you must pay attention. And in our tradition, as Ashanti, you are advised on your shortfalls and you are encouraged on your strengths. So when the Otumfo begins by saying that, be submissive to Bawumia, he's telling you something. Don't let Bawumia regret choosing you. He's telling you something. And then he goes ahead to say that, I have heard people say that you are arrogant. Don't let it be, because that is not how I trained you. It is very clear from the statement of Otumfo that he knows that Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh is arrogant, and he's trying to advise him. Just before the man would even leave the Manshia Palace, I don't know if you have seen the video trending, he was shouting at people. Somebody who was merely coming to greet him.
But you and I were not there. We don't know the context.
But have you seen the video?
I've seen the video, but we don't see whether someone was
yes, he wanted to greet him. He wanted to shake him. You see, he wanted to approach the line. And I saw one security gentleman shove the guy away. So the guy passed behind the security man and tried to extend the hand to Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh. He said, Fioko! You could see that clearly in the video. And this is somebody who was advised by the Otumfo. Minutes later, he demonstrates
the video
the
that
character.
we saw, I must say
Have
that
you seen that video?
I have seen the video, but
Okay.
the video doesn't show whether it was after the advice or before the beginning
Whatever
of the
it
program.
is, it portrays the character of the personality we are talking about. That's his character. And I don't believe in people who want to tell us their personal experience with Napo. We don't care. I don't think you've known him for that long, because you talk about Baba Taufik's election. That was in 2019 or so. So you've not even known the man for that long. We have lived with him as Ghanaians. And we will judge him by his conduct as a public officer, not by his relationship at the personal level with people that he knows. How has Napo behaved over the years? As a member of parliament, as a minister of state. At least he's been a cabinet minister for 8 years. A minister of education who can look in the face of Ghanaian teachers and say that you became teachers because you had low grades. Questioning the intellect, that is exactly what he said. That people who go to do diploma in education are people who had low grades, people who had no hope, who could not do anything. In fact, he compared Ghana to Finland and said that in Finland it is PhD holders who teach even at the basic level. No education minister who respects Ghanaian or even the teachers that he's supposed to superintend over will make such a statement publicly. He went for one of these speech and prize giving day. I've forgotten about the school, a secondary school. The people were complaining about a place of convenience. And he said they are even lucky that they have access to polythene bags to defecate in. He said this publicly. So Napo brings nothing to the table. He offers nothing. Yesterday, there was no policy proposal. There was nothing. He did not demonstrate how he's going to help as a vice president to recover the economy, to, salvage the educational sector, to put in good shape the energy sector. Nothing about policy, nothing about governance. All about Munianaba, ethnic, tribal bigotry. We are not going to vote because of Munianaba. We are going to vote based on competence, based on what you can offer.
But if you talk about competence, that's because you mentioned his role as the education ministry. You mentioned his role at the energy ministry as well. Would you take away his competence or the work he's done because of what you say is the seeming arrogance?
Look, Bawumia is the worst education minister we have ever had.
You mean Napo?
Napo, sorry.
The best or the worst?
He's the worst education minister we have ever had.
But he implemented free senior high
school. He implemented free senior high school to destroy secondary education in Ghana.
Oh, please.
Secondary school was turned into a shift system, something we have never had in our history. At a time when secondary education, the tenure for secondary education was increased from 3 years to 4 years by President Kufuor. It is President Mahama who came to implement that system. President Mills, and with President Mahama as vice president. During that time, we went into an emergency situation where students were sleeping in the bungalows of headmasters and teachers. President Mahama quickly moved into action. Vice President Mahama and President Mills constructed emergency classroom blocks and emergency dormitories to cater for this. Napo came to meet 123 community day schools, with 50 of them completed and populated. He abandoned the rest. He did not continue the completion of those projects. And so secondary education had to be turned into traffic lights. Today, as we speak, not all the 3 streams in the secondary education can go to school at a time. As we speak now, it's either the Form 1s are in the house and only Form 2s and Form 3s are in school, or Form 2s are in the house and only Form 1s and Form 2s are in the school. running a shift system. There's somebody who ran our educational sector down completely. He was moved to the energy sector. He destroyed the energy sector as well. He led the sector into doomsday again. When President Mahama had completely solved the problem, we had constructed the Atuabo gas processing plant to feed our thermal plants. We had brought on stream a lot of thermal plants. In fact, before Napo became energy minister, the then Minister of Finance told the people of Ghana that the NDC has signed onto a lot of contracts that we were producing a lot of power, were generating power that we didn't have use for. And so we were asked to pay for that extra cost that comes beyond it. How is it that now we are having shortfalls? And even as at this time that we sit here, some people are experiencing lights out. But you have the energy minister stand on a podium and look us in the face and tell us that there has not been doomsday in this country. There has never been doomsday. And that there's no hunger. Since the Akufo-Addo became president, there's been no hunger. Go and check the World Hunger Report. About 25% of Ghanaians live below the poverty line. In fact, Ghana is ranked like 62 or so when you look at the World Hunger Report, out of 120 or so countries. So the man does not respect Ghanaians. He speaks anyhow. And I'm not surprised. There are some other media persons who had predicted that with Bawumia choosing Napo, the NPP is just one reckless statement away from going to opposition. And he did it yesterday. He said that Dr. Nkrumah is worse compared to Akufo-Addo.
Words are serious.
Please,
So that's not what he said.
When you were speaking, I
said
didn't say anything.
Nana-Addo
Please,
performed
please.
better.
What you are doing is
I'm
not,
just
it's not fair
correcting.
to
Let him finish when
you
you
can't,
want.
you can't,
Please
you
let him
can't
finish.
Especially
okay.
when he's
Mr.
quoting.
Jemfi, it's okay.
He tried
Let him,
quoting, and if
please,
he quotes wrong,
Mr. Dade,
that has a problem.
let him finish.
All right. Okay.
Napo was very clear. He said that Dr. Nkrumah is worse compared to President Akufo-Addo. And that cannot be true. That, in fact, is a
But he didn't use
sacrilegious
those
statement.
exact words.
That's what he meant when he says that since 1957, no president is compared to President Akufo-Addo, including Napo's own grandfather, President Kufuor, because he's also boxed in that era. That no president, in fact, he was just 1 second away from mentioning Kufuor when he stopped. You, Matthew Opoku Prempeh, you attended University Primary. In Kumasi, when we say University Primary, we mean the Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology Primary School. That's where you began your education. You continued to Prempeh College and came back to KNUST to pursue medicine. Somebody whose entire educational life depended on the legacy of Dr. Kwame Nkrumah could stand on a stage and say that Mo Kwame Nkrumah ne kra emba. Who's Kwame Nkrumah? You are a beneficiary of Kwame Nkrumah's legacy. Kwame Nkrumah established the university that educated you even from the basic level to the university. And you say that, you make that statement. Look, when I hear people compare Akufo-Addo to Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, I just think that they are being disrespectful. They don't value Ghana's history, and they just really do not care what they say and the consequences of that.
You haven't given us reasons.
No,
I gave you
please.
reasons.
Nobody can compare himself as president, even in the future to come, to what Nkrumah did for Ghana. As somebody who led Ghana to independence, you cannot say that Akufo-Addo has done far better than Dr. Kwame Nkrumah. That's completely off. But I think that these elections will go down to what has been achieved by the NPP government and what has been achieved by the NDC government. And it will be underpinned by the credibility of the persons on the ticket. You have a liar marching with an arrogant liar against a visionary and a nation builder marching with a humble professor, an accomplished woman for this election. And I know that Ghanaians are going to choose His Excellency President Mahama over Dr. Mahmoud Bawumia because of what he achieved. During the time of President Mahama, the NDC could barely raise 17 billion in terms of the total revenue that we got in the 8 years. President Akufo-Addo has gotten 945 billion.
Superior competence.
In terms of revenue.
Superior competence.
When you put e-levy.
Superior
when
competence.
you put COVID levy.
He just
when you
proved
put
why
VAT
he is better.
On everything. When you put betting tax.
Superior competence.
The money will come because you are squeezing it from the people.
Superior
John Mahama had access to only one oil field. He produced 2 to add to the 1. Akufo-Addo had access to 3 oil fields. But our total debt today is hovering around 700 billion Ghana cedis. When you came to meet a little over 100 billion in terms of our total debt. And the cost of food and other items on the market is going up each and every day. We want to hear solutions. How are you going to take us out of this hole? President Mahama has already intimated that his priority is to stabilize the economy. Take Ghana out of this economic quagmire. Stabilize the currency. Give us a women's bank that will support about 1 million women who are engaged in trading and engaged in businesses, engaged in skilled work and many other things. He's promised that he's going to put Ghana into a 24-hour economy where Ghana will not sleep. We are going to have people work in the morning, work in the afternoon, work in the night, a 3-shift, 8-hour system that's going to create more employment. This is what the Ghanaian people want to hear, not Munia Naba. It is about what you have to offer. And for me, Bawumia, Napo, Dukadaya, as the houses will say, they are all in the same pot. They all sat in cabinet that decided that Ghana cannot pay our debt. They all sat in the same cabinet that has destroyed our economy. The same cabinet that has destroyed our educational system. Today, students cannot even have access to decent meal. You have a child at the secondary school. You must constantly either be visiting the person, providing foodstuffs. The food, they don't even get a 3 meal as we all got when we attended secondary school. The entire system has broken down. There's no access in terms of classrooms and all that. So I believe that Dr. Matthew Opoku Prempeh's addition to Bawumia's ticket is just for ethnic and tribal reasons. That they think that they have failed, they won't get Ghanaians on board that ticket, so they need to do everything possible to maximize their stronghold. That's that. Beyond that, there's nothing. You heard Napo say that they want to get 85% of votes from Ashanti region. Not even President Kufuor could achieve that.
Yeah, but even the fact that President Kufuor couldn't achieve that doesn't mean that it cannot be achieved.
I mean that President Kufuor's performance in government outweighs what Nana-Addo has done. In fact, Nana-Addo's performance is a pale shadow compared to any government that the UP tradition has produced for Ghana. So President Kufuor hailing from Ashanti and his performance being better than Akufo-Addo, they could not get 85% in Ashanti. How are you going to get it? Unless you have some ulterior motive. You heard the regional chairman say that they have 1 million ways of winning the elections. And I'm sure the 1 million may include strategies for stealing the elections. And that's not going to happen. Because this time, please, this time, we are going to match the NPP in Ashanti region. And they will have a shock of their lives. We are going to increase in parliamentary seats. We are going to increase in nominal votes. We are going to increase in terms of our share of the votes from the region. And so if they have any other mind apart from a free and fair elections, it is better for them to perish it now, because that's not going to happen. Our eyes are wide open. We know all the things that they are doing, and they will not get 85% as they think that they can do. They can scheme and generate the numbers in Ashanti region. It's not going to happen. So the earlier they try to give a second advice to Napo to change his character, change his behavior, not pretend like Akufo-Addo did in 2016. If you want to see the future of Napo, watch Akufo-Addo. This is a man who started jumping onto trotros, entering people's homes, eating ampesi with them, lying on the floor, saying that I'm begging you, vote for us. Because people said he was arrogant. What happened when we voted for him? He goes to events, occasions, and shout on chiefs. Sorry, Nabe Chiame. Get up, get up. Why are you sitting down? Me, president, standing there, you are sitting down. Disrespectful comments to traditional rulers, and you can clearly see that the arrogant tag that was on Akufo-Addo was actually a reality. It was not any propaganda on him because of election. That is his character. You can't hide it. And as they say, character is like pregnancy. It cannot be hidden. It will still come out. And that is why Napo demonstrated that in Kumasi. Even after Otumfuo advising him, he stood in Menchia and was shouting at voters, shouting at people who just wanted to shake him, making disrespectful comments on the stage. He even said that they have produced so much that food is in abundance, to the extent that even, did he say teachers or some people have been stealing the foodstuffs belonging to students? He said all of these on the platform. And that is Napo for you. He cannot change, and he will not change. And because of that, he will not be vice president.
Mr. Adade.
My brother had said a lot, but he just proved the point that every country, you see, let me take this analysis. Every country pays for its expenditures from 3 places. Every country, including the big ones, US. Number 1, you will have to raise money locally. Number 2, you will have to either go and beg somebody for a grant. Number 3, you have to go for a loan. There could be other ways, but these are the well-known ways that everybody, including John Dramani Mahama when they were in office, did.
That's not correct.
Every country will finance their projects on these 3 things.
It's not true.
IGF, that is the one you generate locally. Number 2 is when some grants, JICA, EDIVE, all these international agencies, GIZ, whatever, will give to you in form of grants. Number 3 is when you go and borrow the money from any source whatsoever. These 3 are the most predominant. Nana Addo had proven superiority according to him. Could raise more than 10, 20 times what Mahama could raise in all his time. And I just told you that His Excellency former President John Dramani Mahama couldn't raise 1.3 billion to do his flagship program. And he had just confirmed it. Number 2, you see, they are always talking about things that do not exist. He said, he gave you...
So these grants, let me ask you a question. These grants that you say that Nana Addo has been... how did he raise them? Because this is the money, the fund.
The funds. He's talking about IGF. IGF, taxes, our local, all the our own productions and things we raised locally is what he's talking about. I am not saying it. He's saying it. Direct this question at him. How did Danado do it? That Muhammad couldn't do it.
Muhammad
He
gave
couldn't
him
build
two
his
oil
e-blocks.
fields.
Look, let
That
me
gave
give you more.
Enough revenue
Competence.
from our oil.
Look,
So,
I
Mr. Dade,
describe this
hold on,
as.
let me
land on
are
this.
you
I am
still
giving
on
you
the-
examples.
Hold on.
And
Are
your
you-
1D1F
Are
is
you
ready.
still?
So if you distract me too much, you won't get them.
Is what you are discussing in relation to
Oh,
the
you
achievements
challenged me
of?
to a 1D1F.
Oh, of course, we'll come
You
there.
will get. I want your producer's number. I want them
Is
to
it
display it for Ghanaians to see.
more proof to show that indeed Nanado did better than Dr. Kwame Nkrumah? Is that what you're doing?
I have given you reasons.
Is that what
why
you're doing? I just want to
believe that
follow it.
We are within a different context. I told you I am not playing down Dr. Kwame Nkrumah's performance, but I'm saying within the current situation. And he gave you a good example now. Kwame Nkrumah didn't have to. Look, when Kwame Nkrumah wanted to build Akosombo Dam, he went. He was very ingenious. Beautiful. He got the people who wanted to invest in the alumina because we have bauxite to come and build the dam, use the electricity, and give the rest to us.
What has Akufo-Addo done close to the Akosombo Dam?
We are not talking. I'm not
Tell
talking.
us.
No. Are you talking about Akosombo?
You are
Dam?
saying context.
No, I am saying context.
Yes. So what has
No.
Akufo-Addo
Let me land.
done?
You see, you are not
Close
asking me the
to-
question. She
Oh,
asked
now-
the question.
now I'm not asking
No,
you the
I am
question.
not running away from it. I told you I don't want you to
spoke
be
about
the host.
context.
Please.
You have mentioned
You see, I
Akosombo
don't
Dam.
like this kind of politics. When
Mention
you are
one
going
thing
down,
Akufo-Addo
you want
has
to,
done
madam, I
close
want
to
to
Akosombo
address you
Dam.
and stop him. Stop him so that we will do this properly. You have challenged me to things, and I'm answering them.
One
And
of
he
them is
mentioned-
that you
he
mentioned Akosombo Dam.
Revenue.
Mention
and
one
I am
thing
saying that
Akufo-Addo
look,
has done close
the
to Akosombo
MPP
Dam.
Mr. James, please hold
the
on.
MPP under Nana Addo Dankwa Akufo-Addo.
You can't mention
what
it.
he did better than anybody who has been president before.
I said mention one
except
thing. Close
His
to Akosombo
Excellency
Dam.
J.A. Kufuor.
Oh, okay.
Is
So now
that
you are-
when Ghana, your country, he left a 9 billion debt, right? That's what they say, and
Now, put
they are
disagree
making a
with
lot
what
of
you
noise.
said, though.
You are saying you left a 9 billion debt.
No,
We
I haven't
raised
said
the
that
debt.
here.
At least the OCC countries is what the finance minister, the honorable finance
I'm
minister.
saying that Napo
Oh, let me
disagrees
land
with
on
what you
this. If
said.
you don't want me to, you see, he will mess up your program.
Oh,
You
how?
are an expert in heckling.
How?
If you heckle me, I heckle you.
You
The
heckled me
listeners here
first.
now-
Mr.
So stop
Mr.
pretending.
Jemfi, you hold
He will
on.
mess up
That-
your
You
program.
heckled me
Mr.
first.
Jemfi.
Okay, you
What you are
Okay,
doing
continue
to me.
because
no more
don't let me
heckling.
speak because the program has just ended. If you don't let me speak, you don't speak.
But you heckled me first.
So
Mr.
you
James,
don't
can't say
worry,
Mr.
I don't have
James,
a problem.
Mr.
So let's
James,
keep
thank
heckling
you.
ourselves.
No,
The
no,
host
it's
suffers.
No, Mr. James,
Madam
thank
host,
you,
don't worry.
please.
Let me go ahead.
No more heckling.
Ask your question. I will answer you. So ask your question. You dared me
This-
to a 1D1.
we will
I will
get
send
there.
the listeners
We'll get
to
there.
3 places.
Okay.
Place number 1. Go to the 1D1F website right now. It is there.
Is
Everybody
there a
home.
factory in your district? That's what I asked you.
You asked me, is there a factory? I said, I know one that is ongoing now.
What factory
And
is that?
the one that I know that is ongoing does not end it. We have
What factory is ongoing
how many
now?
districts do we have?
What factory
How
is
many
ongoing?
districts do we have?
I am asking, you have to tell me. Listen,
The factories,
Mr.
do you know?
Dade,
The question
is
you are
there
asking
a
me,
factory
I am a
in your
communicator
district?
of the party. Do I
Mr.
have to
Dade.
know who is building the factory and who? I can tell you where it's being built. But if you tell me who owns the factory,
I didn't ask
Will
you
you
that.
know,
I
as
didn't
a
ask
journalist?
you who owns the factory. What factory is being
what
built?
factory?
Or you don't know?
There's somebody is building it. How are you expecting me to know? But I said I am taking you to all the factories across the country as given by the person who is in charge. Go to the website. Everybody listening, it is there. I just opened the website. Everything is there. Number 2, give me your producer's number. I want all the factories to be displayed. If you are in an area and you challenge that factory, call the producer right now.
When you
They
yourself
are here.
cannot give us details
It is
about
here.
your
I
own.
can give you. But what you're asking me to give you about 107 factories.
She's
of
You
asking
said,
you to
you
give
said that there were
Adenta
about
factories.
And I am
60.
saying I stay in Adenta.
Yes.
Look,
What
there
factory
is
is being built
my
in
mother
Adenta?
comes from Somenya.
Please don't bring
There
your
is
mother
somebody
issue here.
running,
Adenta
building
where you
a
live.
factory. I can mention to you now that there is a factory going on
Where?
that is going to process mango.
Where?
It's Somenya.
So
What I'm saying is, you are
what about
talking,
the Adenta
if
one?
I am staying in Adenta, do you know everything in your area where you are staying?
But
That's
you
where I
know
stay.
what is
But I
going
can
on
tell
in
you where I
Somenya.
come from and where they are coming from.
Mr.
No,
Jemfi,
you are
please
challenging
hold
me to
on.
nothing.
Mr. Jemfi,
You dared me for factories. And
But
I said,
Mr.
these
Jemfi,
are
I
the
am
factories.
asking you.
Okay, so if there is no factory going on in Adenta, I'm assuming without
but you said
admitting.
there is.
I am saying that I know a factory is ongoing. I don't know who is building, who it belongs to. I don't have to know. You don't have to know who owns. I don't know who owns GHOne. I don't have to know to be sitting here. Or you want me to know before I come here? Is it part of your requirements to be here? So what I'm saying is, if you will not allow me to speak to the issues that you have asked me, then you create a cloud in the minds of the listeners that the gentleman couldn't answer. I am not the type. You asked for 1D, 1F factories. This is the list of 1D, 1F factories.
How many factories have been built?
I have here 107. 107.
Built from scratch.
And 58 are fully operational. The 58 is here. I'm giving it to you.
Okay.
What
But this
I'm saying
107,
is, out of those ones that were supported, out of those ones that were supported, like they claim they did to what, Tobinco? You said you did it to what?
You are inviting me.
Yes, you did it to some company. So what I'm saying is, he has heckled me enough and he will get a fair share of the dose.
You said about 107 factories have been built.
107.
107.
This one is also online. Go and check
cityonline.com. How many were built from scratch? How many were built from scratch?
I said 158
were built from scratch.
Operational, and that's the one I'm giving to you now.
Give
me your number. I'm giving it to you now.
Mr. Dade,
I want
that's
it displayed
not the question I asked.
so that we will see.
How many factories were built from scratch?
You see, you are changing the topic. I said I have 58
I am the host, so I decide what we discuss.
No, you don't decide. When you ask me the question and you don't allow me to answer, you are telling me I am not able to answer. You said, you challenged, you dared me. Let's answer that. Let's finish that. We will go on. You have more time. You dared me to a provision of factories. Not who built them. Not where they are. Even this one comes with where they are built. So give this to your producer. Use my WhatsApp. Send it to your producer now. Let them display it. No.
Don't worry. We have it. We will play it.
But you have it and you are presenting it to the people of Ghana as though you don't know. And I'm saying people have data at home.
I asked you a question,
and
Mr. Dade. Who built? I am not asking you a question on who built it.
GHOne?
This is a one district, one factory. And so I don't need to ask you who built it. I haven't asked you who built it.
Who put up these your buildings? You don't know.
But I haven't even asked you that.
Exactly. So tell me what you want to ask. And
I asked you. You said 107 factories are being built.
Okay.
How many have been built from scratch?
And
that's the question that I asked you.
I have answered this is a test.
You said 58 are fully operational. Here. You didn't say that they were 58 were built from scratch.
So I have, for example, let me give you the ones in Accra. I'm reading in Accra only.
Mr. Mr. Dade, that's not what I asked.
I am giving you. You requested it. The fact that even if there is no factory in Adenta, does not mean all. Does it mean all these factories do not exist?
So you established Preforce Ghana Limited.
That's not what I asked you. Which of them did you build from scratch?
Do you know the owner of Preforce?
Go call him now. If you know him, call him and ask him whether he has not received funding for this. That is all. You see, when you come and you want to present it as though, don't dwell on the one that is not like you, the one you are comfortable with. Dwell on the holistic list. This is a list that is on the board now. That's why I insisted, let the people of Ghana look at it. If they challenge any of them, let them call you. You just said you know Preforce, so yes. Call Preforce. I know Preforce. I don't know him personally, but I've been seeing Preforce.
So it is not a factory that she built from scratch.
But if you take Kwabena, the Akuko one, the Kumase man, what's the name? Akuko Daku.
That's also part of 1D, 1F.
Kwabena Daku. Are you not aware that Kwabena Dakun's factory had gone under? Are you not aware?
Underway.
Are you not aware Kwabena Dakun, Akuko Dakun is not the Akuko Dakun? You knew it when you were young. So if a company, you claim you have done, look, you are claiming you have supported Tobinco. You built Tobinco.
But
really?
We didn't say that we established Tobinco.
So
pharmacy.
You supported them. Whenever this argument is heated, you say we supported Tobinco. You built Tobinco.
Where have we said that?
So the fact that you supported Tobinco for Tobinco to stand on his feet.
So that's the same thing you have done.
It's the same thing.
Oh, okay.
We have
so
never
Mohammed
said that 100% of all the factories were built by the MPP. Is that what we said? Is that what you know? Tell me. Oh no. Let's be
how many have been built.
Is that what the MPP
scratch?
has
you
said?
The
MPP is. Let me tell you. The MPP has an orientation. Our orientation is that we will support the private sector. So we believe that the private sector is the engine of growth. If we came to power and you had a company and your company is going under and the government can help you. Look, in America...
Who told you Preforce was going under?
No, what I'm saying, do you know how Preforce will end up on this? Is the owner not in Ghana? Hasn't he seen this list? Have you heard him come to challenge? Do you know what he does? Do you know where he goes to? Do you know who he talks to? You don't know. You know how people
that
do
you
business in
victimize
Ghana.
him.
Here. So are you sitting on TV telling the people on TV that Prefo's did not get support? Tell
Prefo's
Prefo's to call into the show.
His manufacturing company long before you came to office.
Serwaa, he knows Prefo's. Take his number. Call him now. And let him speak on the show so that he would deny the fact that he wasn't supported to build his business.
Okay.
Number two, look at the list and let him tell me if these factories did not exist, then we go on. That's what you are saying. So I'm telling you that Kwame Nkrumah did factories. Beautiful. He did marvelously well. But we are telling you that for the first time, Ghana, there is a president who is attempting to make sure every district at least has one factory. And
Where's that Adenta one?
So don't trivialize it. This is a serious policy.
Adenta one?
So let me tell you, he has made us. You forced me to leave the actual things we are discussing.
Let's come back to the substantive.
You wasted all the time on whether
let's move on.
I'm going to build one in Adenta.
Let's move on. Let's come back to the substantive issue because I want us to even be wrapping up on it so that we can. He's not messed up the show. Don't worry, the show still continues.
But if he has heckled me for like 20 minutes, he will get the fair share.
That's an unfair statement. You
by heckling me, you have invited me to heckle you.
I am not going to allow any.
So I'll do it and do it well.
No,
so don't worry.
I will not allow that. Mr. JP, don't heckle. No one should heckle each other or one another. Yeah. Yes.
So let me.
The point.
Is he still challenging so that you call Prefo's to talk on the show? He said Prefo's did not get support.
It's okay. He didn't say that.
He
didn't say that.
I thought that was what he said.
Well, he's here, but I didn't hear him say that.
The list he has pulled, they are not factories.
I didn't pull this list. They pulled the list. I still have my list.
You see, you guys should stop gaslighting us. We know Prefo's. Prefo's is into electricals. He's the one that changes the street lights and all that. He established a manufacturing company in Kumasi, Fumeswa, which
you know where he got his funding from, and that is what I want him to prove.
Please, Mr. Dade,
tell the people of Ghana, you know where he got money from. He didn't apply for government funding.
Do you know that when
he didn't seek government support?
Our viewers are not able to
exactly what I was telling you, and you didn't stop him. So I told him I'll give him a fair share of his dose.
That is not particularly true.
I visited Prefo's manufacturing company together with the then Deputy Power Minister, Honorable John Jinapo, in Fumeswa, close to Kumasi, where he was training young people. The Ministry of Power at the time supported Prefo's so that he could train a lot of young men to have a skill in these electrical businesses. How did Prefo's become part of factories established by President Akufo-Addo? So stop doing those things.
Are you challenging it when the person is in Ghana here and you are
established Prefo's. That's the first point.
This is where we
the
have
second
a problem.
point is that
you are challenging somebody who is in Ghana
on national
this
television.
Is a corporate body.
Mr. Dade, allow him to make his point.
You have mentioned.
So let him finish. You get the opportunity to speak.
What I told him he should have done.
You are sitting on national television talking about factories that have been established by NPP in all districts. A lot of them you are saying nobody could verify. Even you yourself, you haven't seen them. We asked you about your district in Adenta. You said that there's a factory ongoing in Adenta. What factory it is, you cannot tell us. Are they producing condoms? Are they producing cement? What are actually are they producing?
On the place where there is
are they going to produce?
And you will not look at the places
are they
where
going
there
to
are.
Produce in Adenta.
I said I stay in Adenta.
Not,
you know when I go to stay in Adenta.
You have not established any factory on record by the Akufo-Addo government. In fact, you produced a chart, a pie chart, in the lead up to the 2016 election, where you put items that will be produced in each district in those charts. You took where they usually grow ginger and said that there will be ginger factory. Orange, you said there will be orange factory. You did this to deceive the people. And you have nothing to show for those things. So you better stop it. Now, if we had those factories which were actually producing, why is the currency suffering against the other major foreign currencies? Because Our economy is import driven.
This is a flood. Our economy is now having a positive trade balance. You don't know, but that is the truth. It doesn't matter
that
where
we consume are produced outside and imported into this country. So if you have 101 factories running, assuming that you even establish all those over 100 factories, how do you compare that to Nkrumah's over 200 factories that were established? So stop it. Let's come back to basics. We cannot trust you. All the things you said you would deliver, you could not. Your time is up. This is the time for you to leave the scene. We need an experienced person who has been in the seat before, who is visionary. John Mahama could think that we are going to have a lot of thermal plants to produce electricity. Having crude to power those power plants is very expensive, to the extent that today, this government cannot raise money to buy crude to power those thermal plants. That's why we are in Dumso. So he established the Atuabo gas processing factory.
And no, the light hasn't gone off.
The Atuabo gas processing factory was established, which saves Ghana a lot of money that we were supposed to change into foreign currency and import crude. When you came to power, Tor, the thermal oil refinery, was producing. For 8 good years, you have run down the thermal oil refinery. This is a factory that was established so that we could refine crude. We produce crude in Ghana, but we cannot refine it. If you could not sustain thermal oil refinery, you are running around stealing people's factories and naming them. And you think that Prefo's will come and say that I'm not part, somebody who works with the energy ministry, so that you victimize him. Nobody will speak. But at least people know that the Everpios, the Prefos, the Kasaprekons were in existence even before some of us were born. But today, you are claiming credit for all that. Ghanaians have seen through all that. And Ghanaians are going to decide. For me, I think that this is the best opportunity for Ghanaians to speak loudly to a failed government like that. We are not going to countenance any bad governance any longer. And that decision, that verdict, will be known on 7th December.
Okay. Mr. Dade, I'll give you the final take on this, then we can move on.
So, Serwaa.
Yes.
The truth that Ghanaians must know is that the NDC has never done better than lying to them. He said he knows Prefos. I have seen Prefos vehicles.
Oh, but we are not
I'm coming. You're giving me 10
if.
minutes on this topic, right?
I'm giving you the final take on the
topic.
issue on Napo and the outdooring yesterday. We're moving on from the
we were comparing
Napo
Napo until he started telling lies about a lot of things.
So
I wanted to prove him wrong. That he said, I'm giving you the exact example he gave, that on the list is Prefos. He said he knows Prefos. To him, he knows where the support, the funding, because we, the MPP, we are supporting the private sector, whether you are in existence or you are not, whether you want to expand or not. So if somebody is in, let's say, somebody is in, this area is what, rich, and he wants to build another factory in Kumasi, he's in existence, he's good. And you want to, your network wants to go to Kumasi, and we support you today, we shouldn't say it. We should say we didn't do anything. Is that what he's saying? So if Prefos existed, and Prefos is doing expansion, Prefos is doing something. I'm using Prefos because you mentioned Prefos. And the guy is in Ghana. This thing is online. Ask your team where they pulled it from. They didn't take mine. They took it from online. So is he telling me he can read better than whoever owns Prefos and all his employees, that there is something about them and he knows better than them? Is that what he's telling the people of Ghana? So these are the NDC lies. They keep going. You are saying Napo is what? Arrogant. That thing you are saying, and Napo's statements. Somebody asked me, one of his boys, his own people asked me, these things, do they put food on the table? If the person is competent, he could deliver his free education. He could pay your debt on all the things you left in the Ministry of Education. And let me tell you, Northern Scholarship. How many schools were in the North? I hear His Excellency John Dramani Mahama was even in Achimota School and he transferred to the North to enjoy free Northern Scholarship. He's a big man's son. He transferred to enjoy. Under him, how many times did northern schools, school reopening time come and they were not able to open? Under His Excellency John Dramani Mahama, a beneficiary. Napo stayed in the Ministry of Education under Nana, the vice, the current candidate. How many times did northern schools close under her? That schools have reopened. Few schools in the north. Please, this is the same man telling you I'm coming to manage the whole nation's education. 2 billion a year, I will do it better. And I am saying, don't believe him. Do you know why you cannot believe him? He told the teachers, the same education, that when I come in 2012, I, John Dramani Mahama, I was going to add 20% to rural, those people who accept postings to rural areas. Did you hear that? Did you ask him, was he lying? Did he lie? These are the things we should be interrogating. I said, just coming to sit on TV and say, hey, Napo is arrogant. It's not the question. What can he do to better the lives of his people? To make sure that the women in the market, the one who cannot afford school fees, his fees are paid. The one who cannot afford meals at school, his child is given meals. The one who cannot afford school uniform, his child receives uniform. In fact, you remember Edward has been telling the people of Ghana that the parent is paying more. Edward is even calling for lorry fare, transportation from home to school. I'm telling you, the Nanado I know will do these things easily. But let me tell you, your education sector has been made better, contrary to what he's claiming. Access, more people are in school, so we have to do what? The shift system. Did you listen to the education minister in Kenya? I know he listened, but he wants to lie to the people of Ghana. If you listen to the education minister, you will understand why we have double track. Because of double track, somebody in the village, not him and me, but somebody in the village, his child is in Achimota. Because of double track, somebody who might not have seen Accra before is in Accra. Now you are claiming that I am telling you that I gave an example somewhere before. I had a classmate. He mentioned his hometown. I didn't know. Up to today, I don't know where that place is. He mentioned me, so I said it yesterday on one show. I don't know. That gentleman is now working in Canada as we speak. He's an IT officer. I can give you his name. Call him.
He went to free SHS.
No, I am saying that he came from a village. Access is what I'm addressing now. Access. But your child, you can fly him outside and you are happy. And His Excellency John Dramani Mahama can fly his child outside. I am talking, policy should be directed at those people, the market woman, the cocoa seller. They are the people that you took the livelihoods from. When you, look, the people in the training colleges, I said most of them are people who want to do something, but unfortunately, their parents cannot afford it.
That's why they went to
So most of them
teachers.
who will be in the training college, me, I went to Mount Mary Training College. I did French.
Oh, you must have gotten a low grade.
And Mount Mary Training College, we were there, we were calling it stepping stone. I am not a teacher now. I taught for 3.5 years and left.
Did you go there with a low grade?
But we used to call it stepping stone because, yes, the people, I'm telling you one thing, the people who went there, some of them are the people who do not have the money. So their lawa was their livelihood. You took the poor man's livelihood from him. And His Excellency the President, if you are talking about arrogance, that is arrogance. When the poor man's child came and said, I beg you, I sleep, I eat my alawa, and you told him to go to hell. You said that if he will not vote for you because of that, that poor child should stop school and go. You see, unfortunately, that is not arrogant. That one is not being arrogant. But you come and say Napo is not performing. But this is the man who has paid the alawa to the boys, so they are in school. Even if it delays, it will come. The people you left at home, I'm dealing with education because I love education because the two vice people are both in education. So I love the education sector. The person whose livelihood you took from him is going to vote.
He passed through.
He's going to do what? He's going to vote. That young man who, after completing school, he was in the house. Those 32,000 people Napo came to employ when he became education minister because they finished school and they were struggling at home. Those 32,000 are going to vote. That's why I tell you that you people sharing the post, you should be careful. You should stop sharing the post because let's move on. You are telling them lies. And you think they all believe it?
Let's move on. Thank you. Shall we move on? I want us to quickly touch on the proposal to add 5 more justices to the Supreme Court and wrap up the conversation. I'm going to start with you, Mr. Jamefi, on that one. Why is the NDC so much opposed to this?
Well, because clearly that's an unconstitutional act.
What makes it
by the Chief
unconstitutional?
Justice. The Constitution is very clear on the appointment process of justice to the Supreme Court. If you check Article 144, it clearly gives what institutions are involved in the appointment of justices to the Supreme Court. It mentions 3 institutions and 1 person: the President, the Judicial Council, the Council of State, and Parliament. In the entire process, the Chief Justice comes nowhere near that process, except to say that she's a member and, of course, the chairperson of the Judicial Council. So by writing to the President and proposing names to be appointed to the Supreme Court, that's an unconstitutional act. And I think that there must be consequences for breaching the Constitution. We have seen members of Parliament.
But the appointments have not been made, so where comes the breach?
The appointment process was made. It was initiated by the Chief Justice.
So there hasn't been a breach?
Hold on, there's been a breach. There's been a breach.
Have they been appointed?
Hold on. The Chief Justice wrote the letter. The President accepted the letter and acted on it. The President made the appointment to the Judicial Council. It is the Judicial Council that rejected it. And so you cannot say that because the appointment could not go through, the Chief Justice has not done anything wrong. In law, there are incomplete offenses. Inchoate offense, if you even think of stealing somebody's money, the thought of it is a crime. And so, very clear, the Chief Justice has offended the Constitution. And I think that by now, she should have resigned, because she has undermined the Constitution, that she's the very person that has to protect it. I was going to tell you before you asked me this question. A member of Parliament who believed that by renouncing his citizenship of another country, he had nothing to do with that country, even if the country had not given him a renunciation certificate. The Supreme Court said it didn't matter. Once you did not have the renunciation certificate, you have offended the Constitution. And to the extent that this member of Parliament was injuncted, was not allowed to go to Parliament, even before the final determination of the case. Because the Supreme Court thought that offending the Constitution is a grave sin against the country. So if the Chief Justice, who is supposed to be the president of the court, has blatantly offended the Constitution in this manner, she must not wait to be removed from office. She must honorably resign from office. And if you read her justification for increasing the number of justices in the Supreme Court to 20, you could clearly see that that justification was born out of malice.
Why do you say so?
How many Supreme Court justices do we have now? About 15. And what is the number the Chief Justice is proposing? 20. So before she proposes 20, she already has a list of 5 in her skirt. That will add to make the 20. What that means is that if she had a list of 25, or let's say 10, she could have advocated for more. Clear case of conflict of interest. You have 5 people that you want to take to the Supreme Court in mind. In fact, you have their list on your table. And then you write a letter justifying why the justices of the Supreme Court must be increased up to a certain number, which can accommodate your 5. I mean, we should not accept this collusion. If you see the way
gives other
the president, those justifications for me is untenable. Look, the Chief Justice Office has closed many of the Court of Appeal across the regions. Do you know the number of cases at the Court of Appeal? Today, we only have the Court of Appeal in Kumasi and Accra. The Tamale has been closed. Cape Coast has been closed, and one other region. So how can you be closing Court of Appeal when there are huge cases before the court and come back to justify that there's a workload at the Supreme Court? If there's a workload at the Supreme Court, why does she appoint Supreme Court justices and give them additional responsibility to come to the High Court when there are cases for them to do? In the case of Opuni and Agongo, what happened? Justices who have heard a case that both parties have submitted their cases to the justices, waiting for judgment. The day that they thought they were going for judgment, this Chief Justice changed some of the justices and brought in new justices. Does it suggest to you that there's a workload? It rather suggests that they don't have anything to do. So the cases that are there, they should share it so that every person can participate in it. So it doesn't really make sense. The issue or the wrongs with the judicial system has perfectly been analyzed and dealt with the Constitutional Review Committee. If you read the committee's report, it deals comprehensively with problems that has to do with the judiciary. And it includes the number of justices that are supposed to be at the Supreme Court. So why do we pick one? Because we want to help the president to pack the court. No president has appointed more justices to the Supreme Court in the history of this country than President Akufo-Addo. If you want to compare Akufo-Addo with Dr. Kwame Nkrumah, you must be comparing them on some of these variables. Who has appointed more justices to the Supreme Court? That's where the comparison will lie. One single president in 8 years has appointed over 15 justices to the Supreme Court. And he does it so cleverly, politically, that he will take people who have 2 years to retire, so that when they retire, he gets another opportunity to push people there. So he's constantly populating the court. And we have heard from many lawyers, seasoned lawyers, that the Supreme Court is a constitutional court. And in fact, it's a political court. That Dr. Atuguba has done a survey that indicates that these justices vote and decide based on who appointed them to the bench. And so clearly, the Chief Justice was in collusion with the president to pack the court. And I'm very happy that her own peers at the Judicial Council were bold to stop it. Except to say that their reason for stopping it, for me, is not strong enough. Because they merely say that the timing is wrong, that we are going into elections. Yes, we are going into elections. Beyond the timing. What's the motivation beyond the timing? It's political. And the fact that the president, who is a lawyer and knows the constitutional provision, did not write back to the Chief Justice to draw her attention to the unconstitutionality, and rather joined in the crime, went ahead, proceeded to do the appointment for the Chief Justice, tells me that the agenda was just to pack the court. The MPP wants to run away from accountability. They fear accountability than anything. It is one of the reasons why President Akufo-Addo or Bawumia or Napo will not avail themselves before the media for you to ask them questions. I watched you ask President Mahama a question during his media encounter. When is the MPP going to avail themselves for questioning? That's part of accountability. So that accountability, which is very scary and scaring them, that's why they don't even think that they should leave office. And that in the event that they leave office, they have produced enough safeguards such that they have a lot of people sitting on the bench who will help them to escape accountability. But that will not happen. And let me commend once again the Ghana Bar Association. Unusual of them. This time they say no. And I think that is the way to go. We should not allow people to...
The Ghana Bar Association said no?
Yes, they said no at the Judicial Council. They said they did not support...
Okay. But I have heard them speak, and they have what I heard the spokesperson for the association say was that they didn't particularly have a problem with the recommendation. What they have a problem with is the processes.
Okay, so yes, I've heard him say the same thing.
Yes.
But what's the net effect? The net effect is that they disagree with the appointment. That's the net effect. Beyond that, what processes are we talking about?
So
Serwaa,
you have even said that even the refusal by the Judicial Council is not because they don't think that the persons named are not supposed to be appointed. It's because the timing is bad.
Yes, but the point I'm making is that what processes was Xavier referring to?
The fact that it came from the Chief Justice.
So what processes? It's a constitutional process. So the Chief Justice has breached a constitutional procedure. What happens to someone who offends the Constitution? The woman is still in office. Nobody really cares because, I mean, the president himself endorsed it.
Will President Mohammed make appointments to the Supreme Court if he becomes president?
President Mohammed made 4 appointments.
Will he?
I'm coming. President Mohammed made 4 appointments to the Supreme Court. We have always had a conventional number at the Supreme Court that when people go on retirement, they are replaced. That's what is done. In fact, President Rawlings, who stayed from
Mr.
the revolution...
Mr. James, please answer my question. So you mean by this answer that if President Mohammed becomes president come January 7th, he will only make appointments if they are retirement?
When they are retirement. That's how it is done.
So beyond that, he won't make any appointments.
I'm saying that is how it is done.
That's fair. But beyond retirement, he won't make any appointments.
I don't know how you want me to answer this question. I am telling you that President Mahama has been in office before. For the entire 4 years that he stayed in office, he appointed only 4 justices of the Supreme Court. And in all those cases, he was filling supposed vacancies because of the convention.
So is that what is going to happen?
Exactly.
Okay.
Exactly. That's what ought to happen. That's what ought to happen.
Okay.
If you want to deviate from that, then, and President Mahama, President Mills, even President Rawlings, never shown this kind of abuse of the judicial system. It is only under NPP that we see justices who are junior on the bench rise up to become chief justices when there are senior people sitting on the bench.
Okay.
It's only under NPP.
Mr. Dade.
Well, even Rawlings never showed such dishonesty. What was the word he used? Are you sure? Are you really sure? We are young, but we know that somebody arrested judges and shot them, burned their bodies, and dumped it in the sea. When you are making statements,
I won't allow you to make this statement.
When you are making, I said something like this happened in Ghana.
Say it
and
well.
That thing
Don't say that people were arrested,
under somebody's
shot, and
watch.
they are. Huh? So say it well.
What should I
because say? You know better.
He's come back again.
Because if you say that judges were arrested, it is as if the government went and arrested judges and shot them.
Please allow him to make his points. Thank you.
It happened here. To judges. One a nursing mother. Shameful, disgraceful.
Can you tackle the substantive
Choose your
issue?
examples well. But let me tell you, their claim is that His Excellency Nanado wants to pack the courts. This current issue under discussion, do we have any evidence that Nanado solicited, he requested the Chief Justice to do what she did? Madam Host, I want you to help me. We are helping the listeners. Because he made wild allegations. Did we have any evidence of a solicited promotions in the High Court?
Yes.
Number 2, even the Chief Justice writes a letter. He quoted 144, Article 144 of the Constitution, right? That's what he quoted. And what did he say about it? He misquoted it. Article 144 says the appointments will be done.
1442.
I have 1442.
Yes,
I can
read
read it.
the 1442.
So 1442. The other Supreme Court justices shall be appointed by the President, acting on the advice of the Judicial Council, in consultation with the Council of State, and with the approval of Parliament.
So what did I misquote?
Judicial Council, Council of State, and
Approval
Parliament.
from Parliament.
What did I
This
misquote?
is
What did I misquote?
Oh, would you let me land?
No, you are saying I
Mr.
misquoted
James,
something.
You are not
please.
helping yourself.
Please don't.
I told you if I
Thank
want
you.
to do it, I will
don't,
do it.
Don't worry. Please go ahead.
144 says the president should do the appointment with these people in the picture.
Right.
The Chief Justice chairs the Judicial Council, right? So she writes a letter to the president, and the president receives the letter. Has the appointment processes been completed? Would the president even accept the letter that was written to him? Would the president reject it? Would the president call for the processes to commence? You won't wait for the man to do what he, the executive president of the republic.
So while he said I misquoted
Please
the constitution.
allow him
I will-
to finish.
He said I
Mr. James,
misquoted
allow
the
him.
constitution.
Allow him. Allow him. Allow him.
Are you agreeing with him that I misquoted the constitution?
No, you are saying the Chief Justice breached the Constitution.
So what did
The
I
Chief
misquote?
Justice does not do appointments. She wrote to who?
To the
The
president.
appointing authority. So if whether the appointing authority will say, oh, good work done, you have written a good letter, he hasn't done it. The chair of the Judicial Council, are you aware of their meetings? I am not. I won't come and sit here and present the picture as though I was part of their meeting and they didn't agree or they didn't even discuss or they didn't do what. I am not. If she wrote a letter, there is a council she chairs. Have the council come out to say that this is a unilateral decision she made? I haven't heard that yet. Let us see what the president's action on her letter would be. And this one, coming to say president wants to pack the court. Look, my sister, John Dramani Mahama appointed Justice Yawapaw, right? In the court case where Asiedun Ketia was given a calculator and he forgot how to do 1 + 1 = 2. In that court case, Justice Yawapaw voted against John Dramani Mahama. When a judge sits on that chair, the burden on his neck, if you are a judge, go and misbehave. And you will see the line of actions against you. So if I am a judge, and even like Justice Yawapaw did, even when you appoint me, when the truth is there, that is what the judge will uphold. If you like, deceive yourself and take your own case. Like John Dramani Mahama went and said that NDC lawyers should prepare. You remember the whole meeting. NDC lawyers prepare because they cut heads. They are afraid. They are afraid. They are afraid because he had gone to promise his lawyers that you are going to be lined up at the bench. Disgraceful. You are bringing disrepute to that honorable office. But His Excellency Nana Dankwa Akufo-Addo had received the Chief Justice's letter. I have always erred on the side of caution. Why won't we want to see what he wants to do? But because this man and his boss are preparing to come and pack the courts, they are afraid somebody is packing. Look, MPP, after MPP1, that's His Excellency John Kufuor left office, they came. Every case they sent to court, they lost. Now they, look, you've forgotten unanimous 11 and what? The names you gave them. Whenever the NDC has an opportunity to address judges in this country, it's a problem. Why? You have lawyers amongst you. Don't they advise you? It's a shame. It's so embarrassing. Sir, they have lawyers, senior lawyers. The names that when they mention people shake like the chachus and things are amongst them. And whenever you open your mouth, a judge is in trouble.
Okay.
They should read. My brother, you people should read. No judge will do your bidding. If you like, appoint them. Because the day he does that and we raise it or you raise it, and he hasn't given you a single example. I have given you one. That Justice Apao voted against them. And you go and read his judgment.
Okay.
Very fair. So all I am saying about this court thing is relax. They brought the letter. Let the man take his actions. Nanado is not afraid of anybody going to the court. You have lost all the cases before.
Okay.
You will lose them again. If anybody did anything wrong, you can take him to court.
Okay.
If nobody did anything wrong, go to the court, you will lose.
Okay.
Nobody will favor you in the
All
court.
right. We have to go.
Yes,
30
just a minute.
seconds.
I think that my brother is, with all due respect, ignorant of a case that is under discussion.
30 seconds.
That's why he will say that I misquoted the Constitution.
He said she breached.
I think
And
what
said
he,
she
I
was
think
the
I think
chair.
I think what he meant was that
You said she
the
breached.
appointment processes have not been completed because no
No,
one
he
can
said
be
I
a
mis-
justice
he
of
was
the
very
court
clear.
without
because- no,
approval
let me
from
help
Parliament.
him. I said
Before you read
she
the
said
Constitution,
the
he said
Chief Justice
I
breached
misquoted
the
the
Constitution.
Now,
I
he doesn't
said
know what
that
has
is
gone on,
not
so
the
let me help
provision
you.
in the Constitution.
30 seconds.
The provision in the
Chief-
Constitution is that
the
she should
Chief
follow the
Justice
process.
wrote
You are not
to
part
the
of their
President
meeting.
recommending names. The President acted on the Chief Justice letter and made the appointment to the Judicial Council for advice. It is at the Judicial Council that the GBA and other members on the council stopped the appointment.
But the
because-
process has not been completed.
No, I'm saying that she
Where
had
did
made-
she hasn't
please.
proven where the Chief
She-
Justice breached the Constitution.
Hold on. He has to wrap up. Mr. Daddy.
You'll allow him.
The Constitution is
30
very clear.
we have to go.
There's nowhere that the Chief Justice is mentioned as playing any role in the appointment of justices to the Supreme Court. There's nowhere in
So
the
when the
Constitution.
council is sending their request,
Please.
they will send it who
That's
under
why
whose
the
hand?
council is saying that they didn't send the request. The Ghana Bar Association has been speaking. They are members on the council. They
So
have
the
sent-
Ghana Bar
I haven't
Association
heard
is
them
the Judicial
specifically
Council.
say that
What
they
Are you
didn't
telling
send
the
the
people of
request.
Ghana that the
What-
Ghana
what-
Bar
I
Association
I haven't.
is the
Can
Judicial
you?
Council?
No. If
Savior
you have that
is on
information,
record. In
Are you
fact-
saying
in
GBA
fact, I have
is
the
the
GBA
Judicial
letter, I'll send it
Council?
to you. That they protest that the Chief Justice has no role in that appointment. If
yeah,
he
but
has-
they didn't. I have
if-
heard him say that too. That they are not comfortable with the process.
But what
of her-
process
but
is it?
they
The
didn't
process
say-
that the Chief Justice wrote the letter.
Okay.
That's the process they are
What
talking
I'm
about.
saying is, he
That's
said
the
she
process they are
breached
talking
the
about.
Constitution. For
she
that matter,
breached the
she should not.
Constitution because does the Chief Justice have the power to recommend for justices to be appointed?
Do you
All
know?
right, thank you,
Serwaa,
gentlemen.
do you know the people
Thank you.
who constitute
Thank
the
you.
council?
Thank you so much.
Do you
But-
know
but
the people who
You just
constitute the
don't
council?
But the
understand
Ghana
the
Bar is
issues,
part of
so
the
I won't-
council.
They are only one.
I won't
one
fault you.
They are
organization.
part of the council.
So if they
Thank
come
you
and
so
say
much,
we are not
gentlemen.
part, it means all the members.
Understanding of the issue, so I will not.
Thank
No.
you. Broja Jemfi is Director of Special Duties for the NDC. Deputy Director of Special Duties for the NDC. And Anas Aremeyaw is member of the NPP's communications team. Thank you so much for watching. Stay with us. After the break, we have more.
Under the leadership of His Excellency Odupon Ejapuata Japon, that's the former SRC president, the Executive Council appointed me as the Diplomatic and Foreign Affairs head. So I think we had a program during the SRC Law Week. Harriet Nati was the moderator for that. She did it so well. Thank you so much, Harriet. So we had His Excellency Charles Abani, the UN resident coordinator to
Harriet
Ghana.
is actually a very good friend
Yes,
of mine.
exactly.
So good morning to you, Adra.
And Sam Okujotoa Blackwell, that's a senior lawyer in Ghana. We had the USA ambassador to Ghana, Her Excellency Virginia Palmer. We also had the EU ambassador
You
to
mean
Ghana.
Sam Okujeto, not the
Yeah.
Okujeto Ablakwa.
Sam, so senior lawyer. That's why I
Sam
said-
Okujeto.
Yes, please.
Okay.
Exactly. We also had the EU ambassador to Ghana, His Excellency Ichad Razali. We also had Her Excellency Fidelia Gran Galon. That's the Suriname ambassador to Ghana. So they were all part of the program, and then I think the program, by God's grace, it went very well, was very successful. I also had an amazing team who helped the program to be very, very successful. So I think that is what probably Alsa saw and then they honored me this way. But let me use the opportunity to thank His Excellency Tichi Wisdom and his team for honoring me, because then again, I'm saying that there are a lot of law students in Ghana and Africa, then I'm the one. Hey, thank you. Thank you very much, Mr. President. I appreciate it. Thank you.
Mr. President, let's talk about the moot court competition. It's called Serwaa Moot Court Competition. Why that name, and what went into the competition?
Okay, thank you very much for this question. So actually, the competition is about selling Africa to the world. And you know, most at times, Africa, we fly all over to the other continents to participate in these moot court competitions. But Africa do not have a simple moot court competition that also invites law students outside our continent to witness our culture. So I think this whole idea is about projecting Africa to the world. And then we realized Lawyer Fafa, she's Sarah Fafa Kodo Esquire. She's the current Director Legal at the Ministry of Energy of Ghana. She also runs an organization called the Seed Foundation that seeks to promote the affairs of law students. She provides career support, mentorship opportunities, and internship opportunity. Somebody like, for me, I have benefited from this initiative. So we realize she's doing so amazing, and I mean, this is a time we had to honor such a legendary person who is helping, I mean, law students. So I think if you ask about the name Sarah Fakpodo, that is the main idea. Thank you.
Now, for the African Law Students Association, is it just for lawyers or student lawyers, or any other person, any student can decide to join?
Okay, so with the African Law Students Association, it is strictly for law students, and we also have a platform for young lawyers who have been called to the bar recently and all that. But apart from that, we have people outside the legal field who volunteers with us. We have people who are experts with mental health and all that. I mean, a whole lot of people who are very passionate about the SDG goals. I mean, they all partner with us to promote Africa on the world market. Thank you.
But how does one join? Is this something I can just walk to you and say, Mr. President, I want to join the ALSC?
I think with the African Law Students Association, our membership is so easy. It's so easy. You can just log on onto alsaonline.org. You fill a membership form. After filling the membership form, we're going to send you some email confirming your membership, so that, I mean, at that time you will get the opportunity to also join our WhatsApp platforms and Telegram channels and all that. Thank you.
But when I join, when I am part of it, what are the benefits for me?
We have amazing benefits. Just recently, we collaborated with the Emory University all the way at Georgia, Atlanta, USA. We recently collaborated with the Boston University, who are providing application waiver and a partial scholarship for law students in Africa who apply in the name of the African Law Students Association. Apart from that, we have, a team of mental health experts who provides mental health support for our members. And apart from that, we also organize leadership summit, which empowers African leaders, African young leaders, I mean, to be passionate and be watchdogs of human rights in Africa, and also sell the Africa's legal system. Will
the moot court be a one-off event, or is something that you want to do annually, biannually?
So currently with the moot court, now what we are looking at now is the sustainability of this moot court. Because of that, we have collaborated with our sister organization, such as the European Law Students Association, the Asian Law Students Association, and the Australian Law Students Association, because they all have moot court competition, which has been in existence for more than 20 years and 50 years. For example, the International Law Students Association, they organizes the Philip C. Jessup Moot Court competition, and we have a strong partnership with them. They are all helping us with the sustainability of this moot court, and this moot court is going to be an annual competition which seeks to promote international law and the African culture.
We hear there's a launch today.
Yes, please, there is a launch. So the launch is going to be at Kwali's residence at Airport Residential, 2 p.m. to 6 p.m. And we have so many amazing legal personalities coming. We have Professor P.L.O. Lumumba joining us all the way from Kenya. And we have the High Commissioner for Rwanda to Ghana, Her Excellency Rosemary Imbasi. We have the Dean for UPAC Law School, Professor Ernest Kofi Abochi. We have the former Attorney General joining us, Gloria Ekufu Esquire. And we have Madame Sarah Fakpodo also joining us. And we have so many lawyers, and then we have representatives from our sister organizations, such as the Asian Law Students Association, the European Law Students Association, and the International Law Students Association.
For you, Sarita, what would you tell your fellow colleagues out there who are either in law school or want to come to law school, so that they can equally be honored like you?
Well, thank you very much for this question. What I would tell law students or people who want to be lawyers is, first of all, for me, if you know me, every time I don't joke with my God factor. Everything I'll tell you is God. So God should be the main thing. Then the second thing is that education is very important. For me, like this, I didn't do LLB straight away. I was in Kwame Nkrumah University of Science and Technology. I read sociology and social work before I read law. So I think it's about the passion. I mean, if you're passionate about it, why not? Pick up the form. Don't listen to people saying that, oh, law is difficult. If you're passionate about it, you can do it. And the good thing is that there's no like age limit to read law. Anybody can read law. So you just have to believe in yourself that you want to do it. And of course, you need money because the law, you need money to do the law. So you should make sure that when you are putting yourself in this position, you have the finances to back you up. And then I think you should be fine. I think with that, when you enter law school, you should be fine. So of course, you do the LLB before you get to Makola. But yeah, they should be fine.
Okay,
Thank you very much.
they certainly will be fine,
Yes.
like you are.
By God's grace.
Thank you very much,
Thank you,
Sarita. So
Lily.
that's
Thank you so
Sarita Otri. She's African Outstanding Student Personality. And then Techi Wisdom is International President of African Law Students Association. That's it. We're back shortly. Welcome back to the show. That song was interesting. But it's now time to celebrate some women and what women are doing for their fellow women this morning. You know, it's Wednesday, Women Crush Wednesday, they say. This morning, I've been joined by Dr. Rita Obing. She's a lecturer and an organizational development specialist. I've also been joined by Wilma Joy Kwe. She's communications lead for the TCL Women's Network. And TCL is organizing an event to help women bring out their confidence, to help women break barriers in society. Good morning, ladies.
Good morning.
How are you doing?
Well, thank you.
And you?
Now, Doc, let me start with you. They say that, women are supposed to break barriers, women are supposed to break stereotypes. But my question critically is, who is stopping the woman?
Okay, so at the moment, you can see that women are making some gradual improvement when it comes to occupying positions in the economic workforce.
Right.
It's not to a point as expected, but there is significant improvement. And there are so many stereotypes, gender role stereotypes, that hinder some of the things women want to do. So usually it becomes like a source of stress. For example, if a woman gets to a particular age, it's expected that the person gets married and then takes care of children, and at the same time ensure that she's working, all right, and juggling between domestic roles and the economic world is not an easy task for women. So probably when women don't have that resilience, they tend to give up and decide to focus on one aspect. Meanwhile, there's so much potentials in them that they can contribute to make sure the economy is growing, but most of the time is being hindered by the expectations society puts on them. Yeah.
Do we have societal limitations for women in the church? You are a pastor's wife.
Yes.
Are there so many limitations for women like you?
All right. So thank you for the question. So I wouldn't say that there are specific limitations for women in the church. Now, you can see a lot of women actively doing the things of God in church. However, because society has certain expectations for women, it comes naturally where they are limited. So if we're a lady pastor, a woman of God, obviously when you give birth, you cannot assume your position right away. You need to take care of yourself. You need to take care of the baby. So that limitation is there, even though they are not clearly spelled out in policies in organizations or in church policies. You yourself, you the woman, find it daunting to take care of family and do maybe, for example, the church work at the same time. So that limits us. We have an expectation and we expect that we meet these expectations. Yeah.
Wilma, nurture hair. What's it about?
So,
Who are you nurturing?
We're nurturing the young women in Ghana. It's a conference that is dedicated to empowering women, igniting their purpose, and helping them to embrace faith. So we hope to inspire them and equip them with the knowledge and the skills required to perform at their fullest potential. Yeah.
Is this the first ever?
No, this is our 3rd edition.
What was different in the first two?
The first two, the difference were, one, the numbers. We started small because we wanted to see how it would grow. But by the second time, the numbers were mind-blowing. And
The first one, did you start from the church?
yes, we started from the church.
Okay.
But this time around, the second one, we moved out. We opened up to more people, and it was fantastic. Yeah.
So the third one, who can attend? Anybody?
Yes. Anyone.
Anybody can attend, any woman. So the participants cut across. If you are, you have children or daughters in senior high school, in the tertiary, if you're a corporate woman, you can still attend. Because the conference aims to help women, it will provide resources and support for women to enhance their psychological and physical health whilst living their life. And also we ensure that we provide coaching and mentoring approaches to these women so that in case there is a challenge, they will be able to overcome them and thrive.
Who are the speakers, Wilma?
So we have Dr. Ernest Dakwa. He is a lecturer at the University of Ghana. We also have Apostle Josiah Obin Jr., the General Overseer for Power Victory Chapel.
I see the way you smile.
We also have Dr. Elinam Sechofia. She is an obstetrician and gynecologist. We also have Dr. Yvonne Ochre, and she's also a psychologist. And then we have, I'm missing someone. We obviously have Dr. Rita Obin on the ticket as well. Yes.
And I see Ruth Amofa.
Yes, Ruth Amofa.
Yes, Ruth Amofa.
Okay.
She's a financial expert, so she
Okay,
will be.
so it means that every aspect is covered.
Every aspect is covered. Every aspect is covered. We want to provide practical and actionable insights for these women. So we want them to leave feeling inspired and equipped to make positive impacts in society. That's why we've looked at the various topics that can actually help these women to make positive impacts. Yes.
But why are you bringing them in?
Yeah, I keep getting this question, and honestly, there is something on the table for discussion for men.
Okay.
We don't want to leave the men out because we should take a holistic approach. So we plan in the subsequent years, we would have a conference that is tailor-made for men, looking at their mental health. Usually we ignore men's mental health, but it needs to be given.
You know, there's something I always say that. We always say, oh, let's help the girl child. Let's bring up the girl child. But who will take care of my son?
Exactly, exactly. So even on the postdoctoral race, let me just chip this in. We realize that if we don't take care, in the next decade, we will have a problem with men taking up positions. Because a field like the law profession, when you go to the lecture halls, you can actually count, you can count the number of males there. They are not even up to 10%.
Wow.
Because we've been pushing the women, thinking that the men are there. So we need to ensure parity between males and females when we are looking at helping them to discover their purpose and contribute to society. We can't leave the men out. So this is on the table for discussion, and I know the coming years we'll have something for the men, looking at their mental health and resilience as well.
Absolutely. When is the event? This Saturday?
Yes, please. 13th of July, starts at 8 a.m. at the University of Ghana. It's a conference room.
Okay.
Yes, please.
What time does it start and when can I leave?
It starts at 8 a.m. and ends at 1 p.m.
Is it free?
Yes, please. It's
Absolutely free.
Who doesn't want free? Because
free.
I do. So this
Yeah.
Saturday, University of Ghana is a conference room, 9 a.m. through till 1 p.m.
8 a.m.
8 a.m. Okay, please.
Yeah.
It's 8 a.m.
8 a.m.
Is it 8 a.m. Ghana Man time or 8 a.m.
8 a.m. prompt.
on the dot?
Yes.
You're starting?
Yes.
Okay. So but how do I get to be admitted into the conference? I can just walk in, or do I need to register?
Okay, so when you check on the flyer, you can call any of the numbers if you need further clarification regarding the exact location and what the program is about. So our numbers have been put there. Then let me just add this. You know, psychological services, you need to pay for it in Ghana, but this is a gathering where we are making it free, where psychologists are there to even look at people's issue on one-on-one. So on that, they will have that opportunity to be assessed. That's why we want everybody to come and make sure, if you're coming, make sure you come on time, because people are calling and the numbers are overwhelming. So it's important that they arrive early, then we start.
Can you pull out the numbers if you have them?
Yes, so you can call 0249 644 284 or
055 329 8476. 055 329 8476.
Okay.
So if you want to register ahead of time, you can call these numbers to register. But if you're also walking on the day, we are willing to accept you.
Okay, that's all. I see something on the flyer. Is it the Cushioned Lioness?
Yes.
What does it mean?
That's the, I will explain to you. So that's the women's network behind this conference. So it's a women's network, and as I said, we seek to empower women to develop their spiritual life, and at the same time discovering their purpose, helping them to grow personally and on professional levels. So this is the TCL called the GHOne Lioness, and the name is the inspiration comes from Genesis 49:9, where Jacob was blessing his son Judah, and he likened him to the personality of the animal lion, where he was making him know that there is so much potential in him and nobody can take advantage of him. He has the resilience, and so he can rise above any limitation that comes to him. So we got our inspiration and we said, well, if women feel that they cannot overcome limitations in society, there is so much strength in them that they can.
Viewers, I'm sure you know that you get more of this
Yes.
when you attend the Nigeria conference.
Yes, that's true.
This Saturday, 8 a.m. through till 1 p.m. at the University of Ghana ISE conference room. Come and let's all empower ourselves. We are women. We are taking up the center stage. So why not? Let's do this together. Thank you very much, Dr. Rita Obing. She's a lecturer and an organization development specialist. She's also a pastor's wife, very graceful one of that. And Wilma Joy Kwe is communications lead for the Cushioned Lioness Network. Yeah, TCL Network. Thank you very much, ladies. Let's do some celebrations now. As we are celebrating somebody for the academic laurels, there's also an academic conference at the 3rd UNIMAC IJ Academic Practitioner Conference here in Ghana. My guest this morning is Bernard Afolansa. He's aspiring UNIMAC SRC president, and Samuel Azuma Abogobon. He's a Macom lead. Good morning, gentlemen. I hope you're doing well.
My God's grace, we are.
Let me ask, what is the UNIMAC IJ Academic Conference all about, Practitioner Conference all about?
Okay. Thank you. Let me first of all greet your viewers this morning. When we say UNIMAC Academic Practitioner Conference, it's where students or where practitioners and academics comes together to help students tap knowledge and bridge the gap between what we say students graduate and then they are not able to do or execute or practice whatever they were taught in class. So that is what UNIMAC Academic Conference is about, is to bridge the gap between the theory and the practitioner. So,
I see the theme, Synergy for Transformation.
Right. So basically, Synergy for Transformation talks about bringing two entities together. So here we are bringing the people of the academic world together with people in the corporate world together to be able to teach the student, to be able to help us to find a new sense of reasoning, to be able to have revolution amongst ourselves. Sometimes we just come to class, pass our exams, just live like that. But this time, we are bringing the practitioners down to our level to be able to better understand how they are able to bring about whatever they do in their world. For example, PR practitioners, most of the times we say we go to school without understanding whatever we are being taught. So when we come out, we are not able to practice. So we are coming to ask them questions. We are coming to get a new sense of reasoning from them so that we'll be able to get better in life.
So who can attend this conference?
Okay, those who can attend this conference, students, specifically public relations students or communication students, and anybody who wants to tap knowledge. But we encourage students most because I think they are going to benefit more in this particular conference. So students are encouraged to attend.
So students, you mean every student, every tertiary student, or just for UNIMAC students?
UNIMAC students are encouraged to attend. Any tertiary student who is also in the public relation field or communication field is also encouraged to attend.
But is it free?
Yes.
It's free, absolutely free. Absolutely.
You know,
Who doesn't like freebies? I do.
Absolutely.
So this is the time that I think students should be able to come together to attend this program. One, it is free. You are going to have internship opportunities.
Okay.
Yes, from these people, because this is the time that artificial intelligence is increasing.
Absolutely.
Yes, we should be able to tap into this knowledge. We shouldn't just be seated in the classrooms. Most of the time, students vacate, they go home, they do not do anything, they just stay in the house till school resumes again. But this is the time for you to network. This is the time for you to link up with those who are practicing, so that once you are out of the field, in fact, most of us are in the field, yet we work outside the field. So we are bringing these people for students to be able to network and gain knowledge.
And if I attend, who are the speakers I'm to expect?
Okay. For the speakers coming, we have some coming from the practitioner side. So let me mention the practitioner, then he will take the academy. With the practitioners, we have somebody like Madame Belona Gerard Kwenu. She's a Nuclear Ghana manager, corporate manager, or public affairs manager. She's coming, she has worked over 28 years, has experience in public relations, the trends, the modern trends, the old one, how we are able to, research, academic research, how we are able to, implement it, and then it become very impactful in the industry. So she's coming. We have Mohammed Ali. He's also a manager. Corporate.
Is that a boxer?
No.
Or that's a reincarnated one?
No. This one is a Mohammed Ali, a boxer in communication.
Okay.
So a boxer in communication. He's ADB, and he's also repping life.
Okay.
He's over experience. He has a lot of experience on the communication field, or public relations to be specific. He's coming. And we have Mr.
Right. So when we come to the academics, we have Professor Eche Sikanku.
Oh,
and he's
yes.
He's from the Directorate of Research, UNIMAC. And we have Mr. Fuseni, one of our best lecturers in PR. So these people are coming as academics to be able to join the practitioners, to be able to teach the students. Yes, impact knowledge into the students.
Okay, with the practitioner, we left Mr. Mauli Fuga. He's also senior corporate affairs officer at the Bui Power Authority.
Right.
So he's also coming, and we have a moderator also coming, Madame Bridget M. Besemeti. Besemeti.
Okay.
So public relations manager.
Okay. But when is the event? Tomorrow?
No, yeah, the event is tomorrow, 11th of July.
And when does it start?
It starts at 9 a.m. and we end at 12 p.m. That's 12 noon at the GHOne campus, GIJ GHOne campus.
Okay.
Once you get to 335, you just climb up the hill. On your left-hand side, you'll get to find the school there. And that is where we are having the program.
We wish you all the best. And we hope that a lot of students coming for knowledge.
Right. Okay. But we want to use this opportunity to also thank the faculty, our dean, Mr. Yao, Reverend Yao Geu, and then we also thank our lecturer, Mr. Bryson Enu. He has been very instrumental and the brain behind all what we are doing. So we thank him, and we also want to thank the entire UNIMAC IJ management,
especially the PR students,
and the Marcom teams. For that massive work we have put together.
Okay, thank you very much. So I've been speaking to Bernard Afolansa, he's aspiring UNIMAC SRC president, and Samuel Azuma Abogobon, he's Marcom lead. That's it for the show. My name is Lily Mohammed. I did this with Serwaa Amihere. Tomorrow morning, we are back again with another edition. Thanks to all the people who make this show possible: camera, sound, light, floor, and producer, director. Have a great day.